Hello, good morning or afternoon or whatever it is there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgia, this is Georgia Unplugged, and thank you for joining me. Today we had, as you can see, hopefully, we had snow overnight. I'm not the biggest fan of snow. I like being indoors when it snows. I don't mind being outdoors a little bit if I'm snuffled up warm, but I'm not a big fan of getting wet and cold and soggy feet and cold hands. And also skiing, not my thing. Snowboarding, I did do a little bit until I realised I don't like getting wet and cold. So there you go. So I thought today would be appropriate to talk about Christmas markets in Munich. I'm going to run through pretty much most of the Christmas markets in no particular order, but starting with the most famous one, and then some other little gems added in the middle at the end, some personal opinions, and just a random list of things that you can do in the next few weeks. Because it snowed overnight and we haven't changed our tyres yet to winter tyres, which means I can't drive anywhere, which also means I have to leave earlier to get the kids because I have to walk. Schoolboy error, schoolgirl error. I knew it back in October. I should have done it. I didn't do it. It snowed. I can't drive the car. Because if I do and I crash, then I'm not insured. Selber schuld, as the Germans say, because it is my own fault. Here we are. I have my list. I'm going to go through them, starting with a general overview of the markets. Now, Munich has a long tradition of Christmas markets going back to the, I think, 15th century. And the main one is obviously in Marienplatz, and at this one end is a huge square where they set up a ton of little wooden huts, have a huge Christmas tree which is donated by Norway, I think, possibly. They like to donate everyone trees, I think. It's up already and the little huts are being built. I was there on Monday when I went with my daughter's class to go to the opera, because that's what we do. And it looked lovely. This weekend, no, not this weekend, the following weekend, the weekend of the 1st of December is the 1st of Advent, which is traditionally when the market's always open. So Marienplatz is the first one that you will probably come across if you come to Munich and if you go to one. This one, it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. The tree is huge, set against the old Rathaus. The new Rathaus, what's the Rathaus? The town hall. Right, I've been here too long. This is the new town hall, despite being quite old still. It's a beautiful building and it's cobbled, it's stunning, and you can find a lot of handcrafted things here. Carved wooden presents, little lanterns, little glass candle holders with beautiful pictures, reflecty things. Toys, traditional toys for kids, food, plenty of food obviously, and the best bit, Glühwein, mulled wine. You can also now get quite a lot of extensive amount of non-alcoholic drinks. Kinderpunsch they call it, because there is an uptrend in non-alcoholic drinks. You can get red wine, mulled wine, which is traditional. You can get white wine. You can get Heidelbeer, which is blueberry. My goodness, what's up with my English today? Blueberry, sometimes raspberry, even cherry wine or juice with alcohol. Most of them offer this, and it's kind of nice. So you have one or two to warm up. Moving on from Marienplatz, in fact, part of it still, you can go into the new town hall, and there's a nativity scene inside there, which is really cute, and the kids enjoy it, and it's quite nice. They have a labyrinth on the ground. If you look from above, it's beautiful. Beautiful building and gargoyles and things. It's nice just to see as a tourist, let alone with the Christmas things added. You would then go north towards Platz, which is a short walk, where you get to the residence. The residence is traditionally, it was the residence of the king of Germany. The last one died in 1817 or something. That was Mad King Ludwig II, who built Neuschwanstein Castle, who was drowned in Starnberger Lake, murdered apparently, but who knows. It's still, you actually have a place in the lake that signifies where he drowned. He fell out of a boat. So the residence has a really, really beautiful market. We tend to forget to go here actually, but for the kids, this is beautiful. Another nativity scene, whole nativity market, and it's traditionally beautiful like Marienplatz, with beautiful huts and just lights. You know, Germany does Christmas really beautifully because they have these white lights everywhere. England used to be full of brightly coloured, different coloured lights. Every tree had different coloured lights. And you'd come to Germany and it was this beautiful white, plain, serene look. And they still do that really nicely. You know, it's not gaudy, nothing plastic. It's all very natural looking, mostly. And with the real snow as well, it really is beautiful. Since you can then go west to Wittelsbacherplatz, not far at all walking distance, which again is another square. We have a lot of squares, like piazzas in Italy. And this is where the medieval Christmas market is held. This is pretty much one of my favourite ones. You can buy the most incredible things. You can buy a suit of armour, you can buy old tools handmade by craftsmen, you can buy old clothes if you like doing dressy up things in medieval things. You can get the costumes. They're beautiful. The food is cooked over fires. They have a whole pig normally that's roasting. They have a stage right at the end where you have theatre plays, children's puppet theatre and traditional medieval music. The band Faun, F-A-U-N, which is quite big in Germany. They're quite big. They've played a few little gigs there as well over the years. It's really a top one, and the food is great, and the Glühwein obviously is great. That's a favourite one of ours. And then from Wittelsbacherplatz you'd head further west towards Neuhausen, towards Rotkreuzplatz. It's close to where we used to live when my daughter was quite small. We have footage, if I can find it I might put it up here, when she was almost 2, I think, 1.5, on this tiny merry-go-round. And this again is a really beautiful little market. They have lots of handmade things. I know there's one that does glass, handmade blown glass. Bags, handmade bags, lots of really nice things, knitted gloves maybe, someone's made their own things, and they sell them, and it's so nice because you can look around, you can go shopping, people stop to have a drink, have some food. There's always food at these places, sausages, pizzas, crepes, waffles, Glühwein, always Glühwein, just it's really nice. More vegan options now, also good, not just sausage. Platz, you then head further west. Where did I head to now? Parsing has one by the shopping centre, which is now I think 10 years old. I remember when they built the shopping centre, or before it existed, it was just a dive. Now it's this really nice part of West Munich. And the Christmas market has a little mini fairground for the children. It has a little train ride, a little Ferris wheel. My kids are too old for all that now. I would say, they may disagree. And Glühwein, of course, and it's just beautiful. It's again, I'm going to stop saying this because they're all beautiful. From Parsing, you can go even further west to Schloss Blutenburg, which is actually a castle, which also has the biggest international library in the world, a ton of English books, and I think 25 other languages. They have weddings there, and they have a little pub there. They have all sorts of activities in summer, and in winter, for one weekend only, they have a Christmas market. Within the walls, it's a really small little schloss, little castle that's still really well preserved, and again all homemade stuff. They have music. They have music on a Saturday afternoon and a Sunday afternoon, I believe, and they have a really nice Feuerzangenbowle here, which is not just Glühwein, it's Glühwein with a shot of rum, but the rum is put, actually I'm going to show you here, look, Feuerzangenbowle, I hope you can read that. And you have the Glühwein in here, and you put a sugar cube on here, and then you pour the rum on, but it has to be at least, I think, 45 proof or something. And then you set fire to the sugar cube, and as it burns, it melts and it drops into your Glühwein. So you have a shot of rum, a very large shot of rum, and extra sugar, and it's burning, and it's great. We actually got this from Blutenburg. You pay your €5 deposit for the cup. And if you decide to keep it, you just keep it and don't take it back. And then you can have it at home, see? Except it's a bit loose. So yeah, Schloss Blutenburg is a really great one, and it's so idyllic, and there's a little lake nearby. If you're lucky, there's ice on it. Not that you can really ice skate on it, but it's right on the outskirts of Munich, out in the suburbs. Beautiful. And that this year is from the 5th to the 8th of December only. So for 3 days. 3 days only. Now, after Schloss Blutenburg, we will then head south and back into the town to the Theresienwiese, which is the location of the Oktoberfest. And in wintertime, there's a Christmas market here called Tollwood. There's also a summer equivalent in the Olympic Park, which is north of Munich. This is just south of the main station, and it takes up maybe a quarter or a third of the whole space. The Oktoberfest obviously takes up the entire space, and more, takes up the entire city. Tollwood is great. Tollwood is your alternative Christmas market. Here you get all the hippies, the tie-dyed. There's a theme every year. It's organic only, so no Nutella on your crepes, but you can have organic chocolate spread. It's a lot of vegan and vegetarian things. You have a food bazaar indoor, which has every kind of food you can imagine. Tables in the middle usually, and all the food bits around the edge. Curries, falafels, kebabs, waffles, soups. Just great. And this is great because it's kind of cold on this area, the meadow, because it's exposed. So you get cold outside. So the big tents are really nice. And it's so beautifully done with the colours. They always have, like I said, they always have a theme. And that theme goes throughout the whole event, and they have live things as well. You can buy tickets for the things in the big tents. In summertime, they have massive concerts, like Joan Baez has played, and Sting, I think, played last year. So some pretty big artists. Wintertime, not quite as big, I think, but you have some cool stuff and acrobatic shows. And this is a really beautiful one to walk around if you want alternative gifts. This is where you get all the cool hippie stuff. Imagine the stores you get at a festival, that kind of stuff. Really up my street. And yes, lots of place to drink. Again, Glühwein. This is where you often meet up with friends because it's quite central and because it's just a bit cool, but it's always really, really cold because it's so exposed. So dress up warm on this one. Also, there's nowhere really close by to go indoors apart from the tents. But then the tents get very hot because everyone's inside. There's a bazaar tent and some internal stalls inside as well as outside. So massive, it's massive actually, and well worth the visit. Going with alternative, after Tollwood, we'll head further south towards Giesing to a place called Stephansplatz, which is a very, very small square, and here they have Pink Christmas, which basically was the gay one because they had everything pink, and it's in the Glockenbachviertel, which is known as the gay area, but it's also become quite mainstream now. It just has some really cool stuff. It has mermen you can buy as Christmas decorations, and it's tiny but just a really cute, lovely one. I remember one thing they sold, I wish I'd bought it now, was a light you put in your bag. So when you open your bag, the light comes on and you can see things. You don't have to rummage around inside. My one regret, things I didn't buy. We will head to Sendlinger Tor, not far away. Sendlinger Tor also has a really cool Irish pub called Kennedy's, which used to be a place called Lamb's, which was a dive. That was open 23 hours a day, closed between, I think, 5 and 6 in the morning for cleaning. And everyone used to go there after their night shifts, or people that just hung out. Not necessarily homeless, but sort of, yeah. And we'd sometimes go there once all the bars closed, back in our heyday when we first moved here. But that's now a really cool Irish pub. So that's where they have this one, Sendlinger Tor, the Christmas market. Nothing to write home about, quite small, quite boring really. Which has a ice rink, which is wonderful. They have a big ice rink where they normally have big fountains in summertime. They put an ice rink over the top. Also a big McDonald's there, the first McDonald's that opened in Germany ever, if anybody's interested. Still there, still terrible. They have, again, Christmas market, and the market almost connects to the one Marienplatz because it's the pedestrian bit. I'm sure it will do at some point. Again, nothing to write home about really. It's only the ice rink, that's great, and food and drink. Then we will head all the way to the other side of the gate to Isar Tor. So let's go through Marienplatz, east to Isar Tor, which is near the River Isar, the furthest east gate, where they have only Feuerzangenbowle, I believe. And it's called the Münchner Feuerzangenbowle place. This one is open till January. The only Christmas market, I think, that's open past Christmas. All others close on the 24th, and some aren't even open on the 24th. Some close on the 23rd. And you can go a little bit east to a place called Ganz Woanders, which has got like a little witchy house, they call it. I've actually never been there, but the pictures look pretty cool. I'll see if I can find some pictures to put them up. and it's called Winterrausch im Hexenhaus, which is just a wintry atmosphere in a little witchy house. Lights, it's all about fairy lights and lights, so that's a cool one. But then you're into Heidhausen, which is the east part of Munich. Heidhausen is also known as Little Paris because it has these beautiful old buildings, very much like they do in Paris. It wasn't bombed so much in the war, which is why it's very much still the old Munich. It's a very, very lovely and expensive place to live. Now the Heidhausen one is a really nice one. It's on Weissenburgerplatz, which is a round square, huge but quite cute, quite nice. A lot of these are also in very residential areas like the one in Neuhausen, Rotkreuzplatz, so a lot of locals will go there with their kids as well. Lots of children in that area. And now close to this one is the Werksviertel, which is just to the east of the main east station, and this has been really rebuilt in the last 10 years or so. It used to be pretty rough. Lots of kind of companies. I worked there years ago as a freelancer. It's become their Media Works Munich, it's called. They got all the media companies there. They now have a giant Ferris wheel like the London Eye, cool bars, cool restaurants, some clubs. It used to be mostly only clubs that you would go on a Friday and Saturday night. It's really been rejuvenated, and here they have a really nice Christmas market. I haven't been to it though, so I don't know what it's like. And then from the Werksviertel we'll head back south again into Westpark. Actually west, right, let's go southwest. Maybe I should have added this to parsing. And it's a really nice park, Westpark. We went to actually a play in the summer, and they've got this open amphitheatre that steps down, and they have free plays there sometimes. We saw Midsummer Night's Dream there. And in winter there's a place on the lake called Gans am Wasser. Gans is a goose, but Gans is also means just by the water. They have a really pretty Christmas market, and in summer they have deck chairs. It's like a beach, and in winter it's just a beautiful winter wonderland. Now I'm all very positive about this. I like the thought of going to these places, but getting there is quite difficult. Public transport, there's a bit of a trek through the park to get there. You can't drive there. Most people will cycle there just to get there and back, or walk, but you know, cold. Ooh. And then you will go further south to a place called the Sternenflotte. They call that at Christmas time. It's on this boat, a boat that is permanently moored on a bridge called the Alte Utting. I've only been there in summertime. It's such a cool place. Again, very alternative. People go there with their kids. They do amazing food and drinks. You can go up on deck, down. There's a whole grassy area bit separately as well. It's not just the boat. Very, very highly recommended in summer, and we will try it this winter, I think. It's again not so easy to get to, either a taxi drive, a bus, or a long walk, or you don't want to drive there really, so we'd figure something out. But it's a cool place. And then we're going to skip all the way north and go to the Chinese Tower, which is in the English Garden, which is Europe's biggest park or something, I don't know. They have the river surfers just south of it, and you can get to the Chinese Tower, very famous tower, famous beer garden. There's a bus that goes there, you can walk there, people cycle there, and they have a really cool Christmas market. They have lots of events there throughout the year as well. It's a nice one, bit too far for us now. Now we live in the suburbs, but worth visiting if you like to walk through a park. If it's snowy, I'd say it's really lovely. A little bit, I think further north, east, I don't know, kind of same level, to the Olympia Park, which has in the south part the Märchen Bazaar, which is a fairy tale bazaar. It's actually in the location, I believe, where Summer Tollwood is, just south of the Olympic Stadium, because they have lots of greenery anyway, the whole Olympic Park. And this is beautiful, really all fairy, decked out like fairy stuff. I went there years ago, I haven't been there recently, but it's great for kids and it's magical. It's all just magical, really magical and beautiful. And then we will head a bit further north to Münchner Freiheit, which used to be very much the student area. The student area is a bit more south now, but Münchner Freiheit has a nice square and a really nice Christmas market. From the U-Bahn, the underground, you come out the steps and it's sort of up with the steps and it's all jaggedy. I used to meet a friend there every Christmas for drinks, and that's kind of a nice one. And there's some nice bars and shops around there. It's a pretty happening area around there. Also the best Mexican just around the corner called Condesa is there, a really tiny little Mexican place. Really, 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 really good. And then let's head all the way north to the airport, which is just outside of Munich. Now they have Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, and they're connected with this, just an overhang, a huge roof, a huge area. And summer they have surfing there with a wave and similar things. And in winter they have a huge Christmas market, which is great. And this actually also goes on until January. So you can always head up there for your Glühwein if you miss out on the other markets. It's okay, it's at the airport. But it's nice if you're passing through, if you have time to kill at the airport, if you've just met someone, you can go there for a drink before heading back home or something. It's a nice touch, Next, after the airport, we'll head east to Motor World. They have quite a few around the world, around Europe especially now. Lots of cars, like a huge indoor car place, which is also a good tip to go to with kids on rainy days because it's free and they can run around. Lots of cars. People go there, they want to make money. They've got the Porsche shop and this shop and the Continental shop. If you're into cars, you'd love it. If you're not into cars, you'd probably still love it. And they have a beautiful Christmas market, sort of indoor and outdoor. They have concert venues, one opposite the Zenith Halle and the MOC, which is like a small fairground. It's not the big fairground that's east, it's a smaller venue, but it's basically sort of industrial. So those are the majority of the Christmas markets. I know I powered through them a little bit. I will leave links to the ones that have links and any other information there is. Everything will be in the description below. Now there are two other things I wanted to add. One is the Christkindl tram, they call it, which is the tram that used to run through the centre. It does a certain round in Munich for 1 or 2 hours, and they serve hot drinks, Glühwein, soft drinks, beer, anything like that. It's a nice thing to do to hire. It's good for companies. Also, you can't get off, so you're stuck with the people, but also no toilet, so don't drink too much beer. But it's cancelled. It's been cancelled the last 2 or 3 years, I think, due to lack of staff. They have a huge lack of staff at these kind of jobs in Munich because it's too expensive to live here and they don't pay enough. So why would you do it? And they can't justify getting staff to drive that particular tram when they haven't got enough to drive the trains and the trams and the buses. So fair enough. And last but not least is the Krampuslauf. Krampus is an interesting character. He's someone who is seen as the dark side of Father Christmas, let's say. When I was a kid and we lived in Germany, St. Nicholas would come around on the 6th of December each year, where you would then be told if you'd been good or not. They traditionally, German kids put their boots out on the 5th and it gets filled overnight, and on the doorstep they have their boot full of sweets the next day. Similar to the stocking presents you have in England on Christmas Day. When St. Nicholas used to come around our house, I was only, 8 years old or something. He'd come in dressed in his garb. He was dressed as a bishop because he was a bishop originally, obviously, St. Nicholas. And he'd read out all these things. Georgia, you didn't tidy your room, and Georgia, your homework was messy. And I'd sit there terrified in the corner going, how does he know all this stuff about me? And next to him would be this character with long black hair, and he'd be hunched over so you never saw his face. He had a big sack and some reeds in the other hand, because if you were really naughty, then the Krampus would stuff you in his sack and beat you and take you off to the woods and dump you there. So no fear instilled in children in this country. Oh no, I was terrified, seriously. And this year it's scheduled for the 8th of December. They have the Krampuslauf, which is where lots of people dress up as Krampus in big wooden masks. Very, very scary. I will put some footage up. And they run through the streets that is lined by people, and they sort of go wah into your face, wah, like that. And the poor kids absolutely crap themselves, and the parents aren't much less scared. It's pretty scary. It's not meant to be, and it is meant to be. What is it meant to be? It's entertaining if you know it's just entertaining. And they basically, I don't know what the point is, but it happens every year. And my husband got some great photos years ago. I think I was pregnant with my daughter, actually. We had nothing else to do, so off we went. So if I can find them, I'll stick them up as well, because he took some great photos. And then afterwards at the Rindermarkt, around the Bacher Marienplatz, which also has some Christmas stores, but it's not really a market. You will see them all with their masks off, drinking beer and Glühwein. That's quite a nice thing to do. If you're in town and you just come across it by mistake or by accident, it's a bit of a shock. Whoa, where did this come from? So those are my Christmas markets that I know about mostly. I know there's some other smaller ones. If you're ever in town, check some of them out. And if you already live here, let me know if there's any I've missed out that I really should include, because it'll be good to update this maybe next year, year after. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, if you've been to any of them, anything I've missed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheerio!